Madeira's reputation as the perfect holiday island is one well earned. Way out in the Atlantic, it's perhaps closer to Africa. But as the home of Cristiano Ronaldo, it's proudly Portuguese, an ideal place to play football. Mateus Galeano da Costa certainly enjoyed his time here, gracing the midfield of Nacional and helping the club into the Europa League. But he learnt the game elsewhere, in Angola.
It was wonderful to grow up in Angola. I really love the country. I started playing football in the streets of Angola when I was very young. I always played for fun with my friends. It was fun in spite of all the difficulties we've always had there, thanks to the war and other things. Football was always the big distraction in my life.
He's been a professional for well over a decade, but it was a slightly unexpected career move. Many Angolans come to Portugal, their old colonial ruler, and in his mid-teens, Mateus joined the exodus. He didn't arrive as some do, with a ball under his arm and an overwhelming ambition, but he was soon spotted as a player of potential.
My career here in Portugal began in a very strange way. I didn't come to Portugal with the intention of becoming a professional footballer. I came to study because I have family here. I stayed with my uncle, but I did play in the neighbourhood where my uncle always played. And then I was asked for a trial with Sporting. Obviously, being a young boy, I was delighted and I went to the trial. It went very well. The directors and the managers at Sporting loved it. But they told me that, though I was very good, they weren't able to sign me at that particular moment.
Mateus spent most of his career with Portugal's smaller clubs, and not always in the top division. But while that part of his sporting life was hardly scaling any heights, his national team were outperforming expectations. In 2006, seemingly from nowhere, they qualified for the FIFA World Cup ahead of Nigeria, and the call came for the then 22-year-old.
I thought I was far too young at the time the coach called me up. However, he spoke to me and made it clear that I'd been called to complete the squad, to be a squad player, and that I shouldn't have much expectation of playing. If I did play, then it would only be to go on in the second half or something like that. But when he told me, I was already just happy about being one of the 23, so I didn't really care if I only played for 1 minute or even half a minute. It was already good enough.
But Mateus started in their very first match against Portugal.
The team did really well, because though there was a huge party when we left Angola, people didn't really believe in the team. We'd be playing against Mexico, Portugal and Iran. They thought we'd lose 5-0 to Portugal, and then we'd lose 7-0 to Mexico. Results like that. But in the first game against Portugal, we demonstrated character and great will, even if we did lose 1-0. We managed to outdo Portugal in some aspects of the game, and we almost managed to turn the result around to draw or even win. There were huge celebrations back in Angola, just as if we'd won the match. People called to congratulate us, to say, "Well done, keep it up." From that point, they began believing in us.
Portugal were frustrated, and Mexico even more so. Angola drew 0-0 with them and then 1-1 against Iran. They were out, but not down.
The biggest joy was that we left the World Cup with our heads held high. We arrived back in Angola to a great reception. We felt like world champions. All we needed was a cup. It was very cool. It was very beautiful. The people still remember what happened to this day. These events just can't be forgotten.
Angola hasn't really built on that achievement, and as the years go by, it seems more like 2006 was a one-off. Yet, Angola is, by African standards, a wealthy country, with oil and minerals fueling a building boom in the capital, Luanda. It surely won't take much to produce another outstanding team.
We haven't achieved great things because Angola hasn't invested much in grassroots football. They haven't created good conditions where academies might discover new talents that could one day play for the Angolan team. Angola might have good players right now, but there aren't any great stars. That's what we need, for new players to emerge, as happens in Europe or in Brazil. We must create the conditions for people to enjoy practicing football.
Maybe Mateus can help. He's moving back home for the new season with 1 de Agosto of Luanda. He'll surely have plenty of wise words for his young, ambitious compatriots.
Not everyone becomes a big star, but to become a very good player you must know how to follow rules and be very disciplined. And you must also believe in yourself, because then the opportunities will come to you. It's like we say, in football, opportunities only come once in a lifetime, and you must know how to enjoy them.